And let's talk about Ryan Coogler spilling the beans on social media. So apparently, Ryan Coogler decided to open his mouth. I don't know if he was supposed to do that because the official announcement did not come from the studios. But I guess Ryan and I ain't got much to lose now. So yeah, there was rumors that came out a couple of weeks ago, like after Thunderbolts came out, that the rumors were swirling that Jake Schreier was going to be in talks to helm the X-Men reboot, which I was like, you know what, that would be a good idea that they would bring him in because I loved how he handled a lot of the characters in Thunderbolts, especially how you kind of string together, like how you take a multitude of characters and you kind of make them work in a team setting, which I felt like he was really good at directing a multitude of different personalities and characters in Thunderbolts. Unfortunately, Thunderbolts did not do what needed to be done at the box office. So studios may have liked the film, critics may have liked the film, I liked the film, but the movie flopped apparently at the box office. It did good enough numbers, but I guess it's because you have these second-rate characters of superheroes. I mean, besides Bucky Barnes, we love Bucky Barnes, but all the other characters were kind of like derivative of other shows and movies and things. And you had a Walmart Captain America, you had a Black Widow #2, which was Yelena, and then we had Taskmaster. We had all these different characters that was up in there, and it's kind of like I guess people felt like, why should I invest? Paying $20 to go to a movie to see characters that I'm not really familiar with or that I really know that aren't entertaining, aren't going to give me enough reason to want to go out and see this movie. And they were all good in the film. It's just that I guess it was a misfire. But apparently I guess they like what Jake Schreier did. And so they were like, let's look at him as directing X-Men because Ryan Coogler was asked about if he was going to be directing, which we all know, like, he's supposed to be directing Black Panther 3 whenever that comes. I still hope they get Damson Idris to play Black Panther, the new one, T'Challa's son, and also Denzel. I think they already have a script done because remember, Denzel Washington spilled the beans. I don't think he was supposed to, but he spilled that he's going to be in the movie. He's going to be in the movie in some capacity. We don't know who he's playing, but nevertheless, he's in the movie. So recently, he did an interview. I don't know if it was with Nexus Point News, or if they managed to get the clip. But I do have the clip. Hold on, because I gotta pause it, because I don't know, for some reason a lot of my videos, even when I be pausing them, when I go right to the thing, it will open up. So let's go to the actual clip. What he said, it's like literally 12 seconds long. So because people think that, oh, who said that? It wasn't really true. You're making up stuff. Well, he is saying it out of his own damn mouth. So here we go. We're gonna play the clip and we'll come back. Please hold.
I don't know if you've seen, there's so much, almost like a fan cast, but for a director, for you to direct the X-Men films. Have you seen that online? I just think you've ever.
No. Jake is directing that.
Jake Schreier?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, there's so much, almost like a fan cast, but for a director, for you to direct the X-Men films. Have you seen that online? I just think you've ever.
No. Jake is directing that.
Jake Schreier?
Yeah.
So I just want to play that twice, just so that way y'all be sure you heard what he said. And what he said was that he is directing, that Jake Schreier is directing X-Men. And so y'all heard it. Oh my God. So now now I'm pissed because I think I was going to show y'all this tweet. This is why I got to screenshot stuff in the future. I had this tweet of Bo DeMayo going in on Jake Schreier, and now when I went to go, because it refreshed, it said the tweet don't exist. So the damn thing is gone. I'm mad. But whatever. But nevertheless, he went in. He was basically saying something like, "Oh," and I'm a paraphrase, that it's typical, like that. Marvel will sit and give opportunities to some white guy who came out with a movie. The movie bombed at the box office. Y'all gave him a chance to handle something like X-Men, but X-Men should be handled by someone who, and I agree with him on this, where meaning someone who has dealt with oppression, racism, homophobia, that sort of thing. Because look, say what you want about Bryan Singer, I love that what Bryan Singer's take was on the X-Men films, because he was a gay man, or as I like to say, a homosexual, who understood what it's like to deal with discrimination, oppression, that sort of thing. And when you're talking about X-Men who are mutants, it is metaphor. It is them being a mutant is a metaphor for something like that, where it's just like someone who is of a marginalized community that's being discriminated against. So you want to be able to have somebody who can empathize and really understand how to explore that world. Hence why I love what Bo DeMayo did with X-Men 97. Hence why I like what Bryan Singer did with the X-Men movies. And I was hoping that they would probably pick somebody who was maybe a person of color or another homosexual director, but we don't know what. I mean, I don't know if Jake is a part of the LGBTQ community. I don't know what his connection of him understanding that world. Maybe he had a pitch that he came to the MCU with, that they were like, they loved his idea and what he was going to do to explore the X-Men. Because y'all know Kevin Feige's favorite superhero is superheroes. He loves X-Men. X-Men is like his favorite comic. So he's going to go hard for this one. So I don't think he's just going to just let anybody direct this film. But like I said before, I like Jake because of how he was able to bring a bunch of characters that could have just been, that just nobody could have really cared about, and make us care about them. So I do feel like he's really good at making characters interesting and handling an ensemble group of characters. So, but I do have the other tweet he wrote where he apologized. So we'll get into that one. So now he said, in retrospect, I came down a little hard on Jake Schreier, so I do want to apologize. However, I do stand by the fact that Marvel largely seems to only let POC directors direct POC movies, and hashtag X-Men is way overdue to have more diverse creative leadership, both in film/TV and in the comics. This is just a fact. And I do find it pathetic that Marvel is not trying to be bolder and more ambitious with one of its most important properties. A lot of my POV is also informed by having worked in several projects with hashtag Marvel and witnessed their preference for white or white passing creatives. This has been a part of the company's culture for decades and well documented with IP's departure. But he was just part of a far larger cancer in that studio. So yes, I lose my temper at times because of what I experienced and survived, and because I continue to have to defend myself against an insane smear campaign that has been launched with zero evidence. I'm human. I make mistakes and I'll own them, but there is a larger experience from I'm speaking from here. Anyway, back to Friday business. So he posted this on this was on the 20th. So, you know, he was basically giving his opinion, but it was like, yeah, he's worked at Marvel, so I would take his word for whatever he's saying because he's experienced and he's been there. So I guess now, like the studios and everything don't have, maybe, Ryan's gonna be like, damn, I don't think I was supposed to have said that, but it's out there, and it is what it is. But now they said that casting is reportedly underway, and rumors have been swirling that the likes of Harris Dickinson, Margaret Qualley, and Julia Butters are said to be on the studio's radar. They were reportedly in contention to play Cyclops, Rogue, and Kitty Pryde, but I'm not sure if this is still the case. Now, along with Alien Romulus star David Johnson and Trinity Bliss, who may be in line to play Jubilee. Other names that have popped up on the rumor mill include Hunter Schafer as Mystique, Ayo Edebiri as Storm, and Javier Bardem as Mr. Sinister. Now, Kevin Feige basically, here's what he had to say about his 10-year plan for the mutant saga in a recent interview, and said, I think you will see that continues in our next few movies with some X-Men players that you might recognize. Right after that, the whole story of Secret Wars really leads us into a new age of mutants and of the X-Men. It's one of those dreams come true. We finally have the X-Men back. Now, Macbeth, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Assassin's Creed scribe Michael Leslie penned the script. I'm a little worried because they said Assassin's Creed, the guy who wrote that, penned the script. But look, but I will say this. I won't be surprised if, they might have another writer or two that will come in and zhuzh up the script before the movie hits production. So there's been no release date yet for the X-Men franchise or the X-Men movie, reboot, whatever the hell you want to call it. But there has been this story that just came out the other day that MCU has locked in a 2028 movie, untitled movie. They didn't say what it was. So a lot of people think that it might be X-Men, we might be getting our first X-Men movie in 2028. And I would think that would make sense because if they're talking about that we may get that we'll probably be getting introduced to the X-Men in Secret Wars, which is supposed to come out in 2027. If that's what was supposed to be happening, especially what Kevin Feige's talking about, it would make perfect sense that 2028 would be the time that you would want to give us a X-Men movie. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to this news regarding Ryan Coogler letting it slip in an interview that Jake Schreier has been officially chosen to be the new director of the upcoming X-Men reboot. So whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below.